Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, today our topic is coagulation of blood. What is the coagulation of blood? We know that class 11th and the subject is zoology. Our topic is coagulation of coagulation of blood. Coagulation of blood, or it is also called the blood clotting. So today we will describe here. We write here that coagulation of blood clotting. We can define it as here when an injury is caused to a blood vessel. When an injury is caused to a blood vessel, such that when an injury is caused to a blood vessel, bleeding starts, which is stopped by a process. We write here bleeding starts. Suddenly bleeding starts, and which is stopped by a process. This bleeding is stopped by a process. This process called blood clotting, called blood clotting or coagulation of blood. So we write here this process can be described. We write that here this process can be described under three major steps. This process can be described as under number one, first setup. First setup is there at the site of injury. At the site of the injury, we write here at the site of an injury, the blood platelets disintegrate in the blood platelets disintegrate and release a phospholipid and release a phospholipid called platelet factor 3, called platelet factor 3 is called the platelet factor 3 or platelet thromboplastin or platelet thromboplastin. we write here platelet thromboplastin. Then where we write here that injured tissue also release a lipoprotein factor. Injured tissue also release a they also release a lipoprotein factor. Lipoprotein factor called thromboplastin. Called thromboplastin. So we write here that these two factors combine with calcium ions. These two factors combine with calcium ions. When these factors they combine with calcium ions, a certain products of the blood plasma, calcium ions, and certain proteins of the blood plasma, proteins of the blood plasma. So right here that when these two factors platelet 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 factor 3, platelet thromboplastin, and other injured tissue also release a lipoprotein factor called thromboplastin. When these two factors combine with calcium ions and certain uh, proteins of the blood plasma to form enzyme called to form an enzyme. We write here that they form a, an enzyme. We should remember it that an enzyme called prothrombinase called thrombinase. So this enzyme is called prothrombinase. This is the first step first, and after that there is the step second. We write that in step second. In second step, the prothrombinase inertase heparin, the prothrombinase inactivates heparin. When this inactivates heparin or antiprothrombin anticoagulant in the presence of calcium ions, in the presence of calcium ions, prothrombinase catalyze breakdown of prothrombinase catalyze breakdown of prothrombin. We write here prothrombin is catalyzed of prothrombin into an active protein, prothrombin into an active protein called thrombin, called thrombin. So we write here that also and some peptide fragments and some peptide fragments. This is the second step. Second, then there is the step third. Step third. What is the third step here? Third step is the thrombin acts as an enzyme. Thrombin acts as an enzyme and first brings about depolymerization of fibrinogen and first brings about depolarization it brings about this thrombin acts as enzyme and first brings about depolarization of fibrinogen uh, fibrinogen fibrinogen. If we know that fibrinogen is a soluble plasma protein, it is a soluble plasma protein. That means the thrombin it acts as an enzyme and first brings about depolarization of the fibrinogen, the soluble plasma protein, into its monomers. Then after that, later thrombin stimulates repolarization of these monomers into long soluble fiber-like polymers called fibrin. We write here that later thrombin stimulates thrombin stimulates repolarization of these monomers, repolarization of these monomers. When it stimulates the repolarization of these monomers into long insoluble fiber-like into long insoluble fiber-like polymers called fibrin. Fiber-like polymers called fibrin. The thin, long, and solid fibers of fibrin form a dense network. The thin, long, and solid fibers, long and solid fibers form a dense network. Fibers form a dense network. It form a dense network upon the wound and trap the blood corpuscles upon the wound and trap the blood vessels blood corpuscles, sorry, and trap blood corpuscles or blood cells. When this dense network of fibers form a, so this thin and long and solid fibers form a dense network upon the wound and trap blood corpuscles, RBCs, WBC, and platelets to form a clot. RBCs, WBCs, platelets, platelets to form a clot. The clot seals the wound and stops bleeding. The clot seals the wound and stops bleeding. When it stops the bleeding, soon after the clot starts contracting and a pale yellow fluid, the serum starts oozing out. The serum is in blood plasma minus fibrogen and blood corpuscles. So we know that this is a coagulation of blood or clotting of blood. Thank you.